Getting work in photography is absolutely crucial, but there is a distinguished difference between free work and paid work. And I'm going to give you guys some reasons why you should not ever do free work in this video. What's up guys, Project Photography back with another video. And today now more than ever, photographers are doing more and more free work. Why is this? It's mainly because getting photography work is really hard. So people see doing free work as an avenue to being productive and doing some form of work and making it seem like they're getting this photography work. But in reality, doing free work is hurting you and the rest of the community. And here's why. Because when you do free work, it makes other people's work less valuable. Let's just say I'm a company and my goal is to make a profit. I want to make sure that I have low costs and high revenue gains. So if someone is out there doing free photography work and I need work done for me, why would I go out and pay a photographer when this person is doing free work? It does not make sense. And for a lot of people, this is exactly what's happening. For companies, they want free work for their events and whatnot. They want free people to, or they want free photographers to do their weddings and portrait sessions. And in reality, this hurts everybody. And I'm gonna be giving us some sort of guidelines as to when to do free work and when to not do free work. One of the first situations where people should not take free photography work is if somebody asks you to do free work. Now, think of it this way. If I'm a photographer, right? And someone comes up to me and asks me to do free work, my first gesture is, well, I could probably get something out of it if you're asking me, because if you're asking me, that means that the bargaining power is in my court. Now, what does this mean? So I'll just put it in a dating sense, because I think this is one of the ways that I think people understand it the most. Think of it this way. If I go out and ask a girl, hey, do you want to go on a date? Right? And it's up to her whether to respond yes or no. If she responds yes, the date goes through. If not, then the date doesn't go through. Now, if she asks me to, if I want to go on a date or something, then I have the power to reject or accept that offer. The person who is being asked has more of the power. It's like if you were to go and ask for an internship or a job at a company versus a company asking you for a job. There's a different power dynamic each way. And in photography, it's no different. I like to think of it like this. If someone asks me to come do work and I say no, then I'm not really losing anything because that's work I never had in the first place. So I like to use that and think of it this way, where if they come to ask me and I say, hey, I love to do this work for you, but I have to get paid this amount of money. They have two options. They can either accept that or reject it and go try to find someone else that's doing free work. And in reality, either way, you're not losing anything. If someone asks you to do a job and you say, hey, I want to get paid, and they pay you, you get a plus at the end. But if it doesn't go through and you don't get the job, it doesn't really matter because you never had that job in the first place. So that's one interesting distinction I really want people to understand, is that you don't have anything to lose if someone asks you to go shoot an event for them. If you tell them that you want to get paid straight up and they say no, then you didn't lose anything to begin with. You never had that job to begin with. And you're really doing yourself a favor because you're putting that value up for yourself. You know, the difference between paid work and non-paid work is value. People value people more if they have to pay them. Think of it this way. A company is going to value their top of the line people who make the most money more than people like volunteers and interns. Why is that? Because money is associated with value. The more you get paid, just the more value that you're able to produce. Now, that's not necessarily true for all aspects of society. You know, there's obvious exceptions and it doesn't obviously play by the rules a lot, but generally speaking, that's kind of how it goes. It's kind of messed up, but that's just society we live in. So if someone asks you, you have the bargaining power in your hands. So don't let that slip from you. And if someone asks you, just tell them straight up that you want to get paid, you know? That's really what it comes down to. And that's kind of it for my first kind of reason why, or a situation when you shouldn't do free work. The second one, and this one really gets me going, is when someone asks you to be paid in exposure. Now, this one is probably the most upsetting to me because that just shows how little people respect us photographers. I've had situations like this a lot where someone has come and asked me, hey, can you shoot my wedding or portrait event or whatever? I'm like, sure, all right. I give them my rate and like, oh, I can't afford that, but can I pay you in exposure instead? Like, what does that actually mean? How do you pay someone in exposure? It's like going to a restaurant and like, hey, can I have whatever it is on the menu? And they're like, all right, it's gonna be this amount of money. And you're like, oh, I can't afford that, but can I post it on my Instagram and people are gonna see it and come to your restaurant? they're gonna kick you out of that restaurant like that. You know, no one gets paid in exposure nowadays. No one does free work just for exposure. And for some reason, people view photographers differently. I don't understand it at all. But I mean, that's just the situation we gotta deal with. Do not take gigs or whatnot that don't pay you in money and just pay you in exposure. Do not take them. It's just an absolutely terrible deal for the photographer. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, and in reality, you're wasting your value. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. You're wasting your value. Each of these scenarios is a situation where you're losing your value, and you gotta get paid. You just really do. It doesn't matter if it's $20, $10, or $300 or whatnot. Just have someone pay you for your work, because that's a value you deserve. And I just really can't stress this enough, because, you know, having people telling you that they'll pay you in exposure is like a slap in the face. It's saying, hey, we need your work, but we really don't value you as a person or as a photographer, and we just want our stuff for free. That's really what they're saying, and that's not okay, and that's not right. And in any other industry, that would not fly. And the third one is kind of more of one of those things that is just, you know, people seem to think that work is work, and it's really not. And you shouldn't do free work if you just need work. You know, photography work is hard to come by. I understand that, but doing free work just because you need work is not a good excuse for that. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, and you're wasting your value. Like, no one in any other industry would do something for free just because they need work. It doesn't work like that. And photography is no different. You need to do stuff that's gonna get you paid and it's gonna get your value for you. Just don't do free work. Just don't do it if it's not gonna have any personal benefit or value to you. Unless these are the situations where I would actually be okay with doing free work. And the first one is you ask first to people who aren't within your specific clientele. That's a lot to digest, but let me explain. Remember how I talked about bargaining power? Remember how I talked about the situations where you ask someone and they ask you? Well, if you're the one asking them, not only do you get to choose the specific people you want to work with, but you also get to choose what you're going to do for that specific shoot. You know, when you go and ask someone, you're specific about it. You're targeting certain people because you know that they're not going to be the ones that want to pay for your work in the first place. For example, if you're a portrait photographer, you want to get more experience, I would ask my friends to go out and shoot, because first of all, they're probably not going to pay me in the first place, because you know what, that's just the dynamic we have. We're just friends, you know? But you wouldn't go out and ask fashion businesses or these other sort of commercial businesses if you can shoot their stuff for free, because of course they're going to jump on it, you know? But it's not going to have that intrinsic value to it. What it's going to do is make photographers devalue to that specific company, because they're going to think, oh, all these photographers are coming for us and just want to shoot stuff for free. It just does not work like that. And if you go out and shoot friends that might not pay you or really weren't going to pay you in the first place, and you get to have fun and enjoy it, you're not going to be losing anything, because those are your friends and those aren't your specific targeted clientele. So that's the first situation where I think it's okay to go out and shoot free work. You know, I understand that photography is one of those weird niches where you need experience in order to get work, but you also need work in order to get experience. So how do you do that? You do it through free work, through targeted people that aren't part of your clientele, and you have to ask first, you know? And that's really what it comes down to. If people ask you, that means they probably value your work a lot, and they probably want to pay you for your work, and they need your work because they have something of importance. But if you're the one going out and asking specific people, then the dynamic changes a lot. And you're gonna be in a situation where, you know, you can choose what you wanna do, who you wanna shoot, and all that fun kind of stuff. So the second situation where it's okay to do free work is if you really love what you do. Now, I'm a landscape photographer, as you guys know. I post a lot of it on my channel. And here's the thing, when I go out and shoot landscape photography, I don't do it because I'm trying to get paid. I do it because I love to do it. And it's probably gonna be the same situation for a lot of niches of photography. You know, people would probably go out and shoot photography not because they think they're gonna make a quick buck, but because they just love to do it, you know? Not everything has to be paid. And I think that's the thing I really want to stress out, is the fact that, you know, things don't have to get paid, but there has to be some sort of value to the work you're doing. And it's not like I'm shooting landscapes and giving that work away for free. Though that's my work, and I'm printing this stuff for myself. I'm posting on Instagram, but not just giving it away to people. You know, you have to have that value, and you have to value your work because it is valuable. And people need to recognize that and see that. And I don't think a lot of people in the photography community are being valued that the way they should be, because people see us photographers like, oh, you just click a button and da 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 and you get the photo. But it's not that easy. There's so much that goes into photography. You have to know things like how the camera works, the different lenses, your editing software, and all these different things. Photography is hard. Photography is not easy, and anyone who tells you that it's easy is simply lying or they don't understand it. And we need to put that value back into the photography community. And if we keep giving away our work for free, we're never gonna get that value back. So I've always been a huge advocate for people getting paid for their work. And if people ask them to shoot for them, you need to tell them that I'm going to get paid for my work and this is what my rate is. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Get valued, get paid. And at the end of the day, it's going to make the photography community a lot better and a lot more sustainable for especially people that want to do full-time photography. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Let me know if you guys get paid for your work. That would be great to know, because, you know, I really hope a lot of photographers are getting paid for what they do. I think it's really valuable and I think more people should. Oh, also, one thing I want to point out, I'm using a lav mic because my microphone broke for some reason. It just stopped working out of the blue. I was kind of upset about that, but hopefully this microphone system is good as well. I have a lav mic and I'm connecting to my phone, have the voice memos going, all that good stuff. So let me know what the audio quality is and what you guys think of it. So anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section down below. Comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.